We are live on the page for Watercolor Wednesday. Let's get in here and find a piece of watercolor paper that I can use. Here's a nice blank piece. How is everyone? When you step in, if you come in, please let me know you're here. Say hello. I'm going to try to find myself. There we are. Found me. Pull it up. And let's share that over. We're going to share that over to our friends. And then we're going to get started. So every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have been coming live to watercolor. Just some simple, quick, easy, most of the time, watercolor paintings. Last week we did a dinosaur, which to me kind of ended up looking quite a bit like not a dinosaur, but more like a dragon, but that's okay. So this week we're on the letter E. I'm waiting to see, I'm actually on time today to see if any of our friends pop on. So while I get my watercolor out, I think tonight we may use the Maylang set. I don't need a lot. We may do Maylang, or let's see. I'm trying to use a palette that is inexpensive so that everyone would be able to paint along with the same paints that I have if you so wanted to. Yeah, I think I'll use the Maylang palette. It has all of the fun colors in it that I would want to use. So I think for today, the letter E could go for many things. So I've asked people to let me know what we should paint tonight. And I've gotten quite a few interesting responses, from eggs to emu to evergreens, and excuse me, I think that we're going to work on some elves. So let me know if you think elves would be a good idea. I'm just trying to see. I don't see anyone. I see people on. I don't see any comments. So if you do comment, just let me know. I will respond to you if I can. But anyway, we're not doing like gallery quality watercolor here, right? We're doing our home happy watercolor, right? So not everything has to be this crazy hard thing. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's a little too much, so we'll come out just a bit. There we go. So I've got the Maylang palette. I've got my little watercolor card here. Try to keep us centered in there so we can see. And I'm going to grab my brush, my good old standby, which is the Aqua Elite 4 by Princeton. Okay, I'm just going to, I don't know where my spray bottle is, so I'm just going to add some water. I know that I'm going to use some of these peachy colors. So I have decided that I'm going to paint 3 easy elves. So I know I want skin-ish color for the elves. And then the next question would be, should we paint them as Christmas elves, or should they just be everyday elves? But we'll figure that out. But I'd love to know what you think also. So So let me pull this around. I want to be able to reach my palette. I'm going to find a little spot over here that doesn't have a whole lot of color. And I'm going to mix some of this fleshy color. It's a little bit peachy. We can add a touch of golden yellow to that if we want to. I'm going to water it down a good bit. So I'm going to do 3 little elves, but for the first one, I think we'll just start here, right in the middle. This is just a piece of watercolor paper. This may be Arches, but I'm not sure. I think it is, but I'm just going to use it. We're going to go with it. So for little face, I'm just going to get a little bit of my paint on the brush, and I'm just going to come in here and kind of just paint in the shape of a face, right? So kind of like a circle. I want it a little bit more oblong, and I think I'm going to put like a little chin there so I can get more color. I can dip more color in that. Now these are the macaron colors that are in this set by May Lang, which means they're not quite as translucent as your traditional watercolors. They're a bit more opaque because they have typically the addition of white in them. But that's a cute little color. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, and then I think I'll do one here and one here. So for this one, let's just darken that a little bit more with the golden. And let's see, we'll do another little oblong egg shape of a head. Maybe we'll do a little bit wider. Oh, and before I forget, when I'm thinking about elves, I want to come in, I'm going to come out here with the point of my brush, tap and pull in, right? Because when I think of elves, I think of pointy ears, and his ears are kind of going strange. Hi, Talita, how are you? So little elves, and it kind of looks like a dog, I guess. But I always think of these pointy little elves on ears on elves. So I'm kind of going for fun. So we're going to just have fun with it. And maybe I'll make this one's ears a little bit longer this way. Right? And their ears don't have to be out. They could be covered up by their hat. So, but I'm going to come back here real quick. The thing is with water, I'm just going to grab some of this really pretty pink, and I'm just going to dab some of that in his cheek right here.
From?
I am from the US. Where are you from? I'm going to add some of this in there just for some little pink cheeks. If I put too much in there, I can always dry my brush and come in and lift some more of that out or help it move around. Indonesia. Well, thank you for jumping in and saying hello. We are just doing some quick and easy paintings on Wednesdays here. And we were working our way through the alphabet, and today is the letter E. So elves start with E, and that was one of our recommendations for tonight. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to get a little bit more of this peach color, and I'm going to do just another face shape right over here. No English? That's okay. Watch along. So we've got our little face with a little chin. I can bring some of this over here and tap that different color in. Okay. And before it dries, I'm just going to put a little bit of that pink for the cheeks. I'm watching, this one's a little bit really wet. This one's not too wet. But when it starts drying a little bit more, I am going to pop in just a little bit more of that pink color or red color for a nose, right? They don't have to be perfect, but just little round button noses. Hi Lilac, how are you? Thank you for coming in. and saying hello, right? So, let's see. I'm gonna just come over here and fiddle with this one just a little bit. Not loving that, but it's okay. Oh, thank you so much. So we're painting 3 little elves for the letter E. I'm just gonna let their faces dry, right? So this one here already looks like the neck is coming down. So I'm just gonna elongate and give that a little neck right there. I wanna make sure the chins are pretty dry before I give too much of a neck, or it will all just run together like that one did. We are drawing 3 little elves. We are gonna watercolor 3 little elves. Tonight, we're working with the letter E, so I had some suggestions. Elf was one of them. So I thought, let's do 3 little elves, and then we can do 3 little elves with their clothes, right? So, oh, you're welcome. Thank you for jumping in and saying hello. I appreciate it. So we can make them Christmas elves. Sure, I'm an elf. Cindy's here. We're painting elves, Cindy. And believe it or not, I am not an angry little elf. And I love that movie, and I know that that time of year will be here sooner or later. Elves are cool, right? And I think of little elves for Christmas, but I also think of elves, for, you know, just my brain. This is what watercolor does. It slows down my brain, so I don't think quite as quickly. I'm trying to get those cheeks in there, but we're not gonna stress it. I just think of everyday elves for the garden too, you know? There's little garden elves, but maybe we'll stick with the green and red for these little elves because it will be here sooner or later. So I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna drop some water in my greens. I'm using the Maylang palette so that I don't have to mix color if I don't want to. I don't mind mixing color. My favorite color would be, depending on the day, most of the time I would go with pink. I have to say it. I know maybe that's boring. I'm a girl, but my favorite colors would be pink and purple, followed by a close second by like a sea green, like a really pretty blue green. So we're doing our 3 little elves, and we've done some what may look like little animals because their ears are pointy. And on this one, I'm not even going to put the ears in there. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to get. You love purple. I love purple. There's nothing wrong with a good purple. So I'm going to grab some of this green, and I'm going to come across his head, and we can bring his little hat all the way up to a point. I'm kind of tapping the brush. I want that green to be darker in some areas, lighter in others. And it's just that simple nightshade. I love the nightshades too. So what do we think? Let's do this one here. A nice, pretty Christmassy red. I know it's not Christmas, but you know, this way, if we want to work on our paintings ahead of time, by the time Christmas does get here, you can have practiced painting your 3 little elves. So we can do another hat. I don't want them all to be the same. So this one, we're gonna do like a little swirl. And then I'm going to wiggle that down. I'm going to wiggle that down and just fill that in a little bit. Okay, we can always come back in and add some more highlight or some more detail. I'm going to also do like a little scarf. So you like cats. I have dogs. I don't have cats because I'm allergic, but you know, that's the reason. So I'm gonna do like little, almost circular, this sentence is not gonna make sense, but circular rectangles. So, you know, rounded. We'll do rounded because I want to do kind of like a straight effect on his shirt here. And then I'm just gonna pull that down just a little bit. Have a good night, Lilac. Thanks for stopping by. Cindy, how are you tonight? I was actually on time for once. Can you believe it? I can't. So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and I'm gonna move over here. I'm not loving how his face, the chin is not defined. So I'm just gonna define that neck and chin area just a little bit with some more of that flesh colored paint, maybe a tiny bit of like a burnt umber in there. Oh, hey, I couldn't find the chat for the longest time, so don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. And these are ears. I know, you know, it's a little weird, but the, you know, the elves have their pointy little ears. So I'm just going in and tapping here and there. Right, and we're gonna put some hair in. What color should we do this one? What color should we do? Like a mix of red and green. We could do a different green. Christmassy. So let's see. We could do stripes. What do you think, Lex? Should we do stripes on this one? Why is that not? This last one.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing it. You know, I feel like I'm lost most days, Cindy, so honest to gosh, don't feel bad. We're gonna do stripes here. Let's do sort of some stripes here as well. So what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna use the red, a different red. So let's pick up more of a cherry red here. I'm going to thin it down. And I think I'm going to keep her little hat. This I think is going to be a girl. And I'm going to bring her little hat because it's going to be covering her ears. So it's going to come down low. See how I'm just kind of tapping that color? If you keep it really watered down, you can always come back in with darker color. So let's see. I'm just imagining the shape of her hat because I did not pre-draw anything. So I know there's going to be a stripe there. We'll just do some stripes and build up a hat. And they don't have to be perfect. We want them to start going a little bit smaller as they go up. What was that? So we'll just do them a little bit smaller as we go up. And a little bit off-centered there. Now, we have to think. It's like we have to think ahead because I don't want them all to be the same, right? So let's see. Maybe, because this is going to be my girl, I want to find a way to paint like maybe like a furry, fluffy collar on a dress for her. But since you don't really paint white on white paper, we're going to use a little bit of Buddy's girlfriend has a red dress. Yes, you're right, she does. You are very right, Alexis. Let's see, I want a little touch of blue. And I'm going to mix that in with that gray. That was too much. And then I want to really, really, really water that down on my brush. And I'm just going to think about almost like we're outlining the outside edge of it. So it would come around like this. And I'm just going to use the brush to flick outward, which would look kind of like little hair strokes. And it's going to be kind of coming crooked, right? So we want to just mimic, maybe she's got like a little fur collar. Remember, that will dry dark or lighter than it looks right now on the paper, just a little bit. We'll come over here with this guy. I think we're going to keep him green too, but maybe we'll do just a little bit of a darker green for his shirt. And let's go darker. And that way we can cover up that long, long neck. Just a silly little body there. Look how long his neck is. We're going to fix that. Right? And we can take this deep, dark green that we're using right now, and we can add just some little circles up in his hat. Okay, so little circles. Everything is just a shape. We just break it down. Let's see. I guess Mel got busy tonight. I didn't see her here yet. So see how I'm leaving some of the white of that paper? Just giving them like a quirky little personality. So now I'm going to bring some of that green over here. We're going to use some of that really light, like a lime green. And I'm going to paint in between the red. A lot of water there. I'm breaking a lot of my own rules tonight, but that's okay, right? That's how we learn. So I'm just going to paint some green around there. So it's like a little green and red scarf. And then we'll come back over here to our little girl and we'll give her like a really pretty little red dress. We don't have to get into too many details. That's really all we need, right? I can come up, can put a little bit more of a different red on the corner, maybe just to darken it a little, to add some interest. I can come back over here and add more if I want. Or what I am going to do is take some of that really, like that gray color that we used there, and I'm going to just outline her hat with that so that we have an idea that her hat stands out from the back of the card, right? So we're just going to let that be for a minute. I might grab my, so I can come back in, let's see. That dried pretty light. I can just come back in with a little bit more of the darker color, or if you don't feel comfortable with your pen, you can use a marker. I'm just adding a little bit of dark there. What, sweetheart? Oh, that's okay. All right, so we have 3 little elves there. I think they're coming along pretty cute. This one here, she needs something. I don't know what. So we've got red and green here. We've got green, 2 shades of green here. And we've got the red over here again. You think she needs a bell?
Yeah.
We can do that. We have some gold paint here in this palette. We'll make a gold bell.
The bell around her. The bell around color.
No, I'm gonna put a bell up here at the top of her hat. We'll just do a round little bell. Might not even look like a bell, but that's okay. We'll accent with some gold. And maybe we will come down here and we'll give her a little gold necklace, right? Just so we know she's a girl. And it doesn't have to look like exactly what we're doing. Oh, thank you so much, Sin. I'm glad you like them. You know, sometimes you just stress and then it's best to just push the live button and go. But I think these are turning out so cute. When the faces are really dry, we'll go back in there in just a few minutes and we'll give them just a little bit. Uh-oh, look what I did. It's okay. Won't even see it. We'll go in and give them a little bit of detail. And so I like that so far. She's cute. So maybe this one will bring that gold over here as well. And let's see. We'll just detail around this one's scarf with some gold as well. Okay? So that brings in some of that gold. It ties it in. It's not going to be lopsided. I can find my words. We can talk. So let me grab the dryer. We'll dry them really quickly. Cindy, how was your day? How was your day? It's been rainy and dreary here. I'll dry these real quick. Oh, you know what? Before I go too far with drying them, I want to do their hair. We're forgetting about their hair. We can leave them bald, but I think we should give them some hair. So let's... Oh, see, we've started to cool down here a bit. Now tomorrow is going to be hot, but we've started to cool down. And it's nice, but still not ready to let go of summer. So let's see, what color hair? Let's do some yellow. Let's grab some of this brown. Let's do some of this brown. And let's do, I'm always stumped on hair, right? I'm just so stumped on what to do for their hair. His hair is black. So let's do maybe like a side swept bit of hair here for him. We'll just bring that over and a little bit down in front of his ears or her ears, it doesn't matter. So we'll give him some brown hair. Maybe we'll bring some of it down the back behind his head. What do you think, right? Cindy, is this cooling you off at all? Are you ready to start thinking about this? I'm not. Not quite. I'm going to add some of that darker brown just to give it a little bit of oomph, right? I'm going to get some more of that dark brown. I'm going to come over here, and I'm imagining her to have little pigtails that are maybe coming out of her hat. So maybe she's got two little holes cut in her hat. What? What? You don't like? I'm not doing Buddy's girlfriend, dear. We're doing mommy's friendly little elves over here, and she's gonna have crazy little curly pigtail. You're not a fan of summer. You know, I'm not either. I mean, I used to be, but lately I gotta say, I'm not loving it, but the only thing I'm not looking forward to is the, just like dreary. I don't like dreary. I don't like the dark. So this one, we're just gonna give her some crazy little hair sticking out there. I wanna make sure his ear, so her hair, well, let's have her hair just cover up his big old ear. So we'll let that dry just a bit. And let's see, we'll give her, so I'm using my watered down brown, but it's pretty, I've got a good bit of pigment in there. It's not really dark. I mean, it's not too much see-through. I wanted it pretty dark for her. Okay. And I'm always afraid, you know, you think everything's going so great, and then all of a sudden, boom, you pick a wrong color or you put a wrong hairstyle on your little drawing, but you know what? It is what it is. So for this guy, I think we're just gonna do a little bit of hair, and that looks green. That looks green. Let's see. Let's use some of this golden yellow for his hair. We'll just put it right there, just a little tiny bit, coming out over his ears, coming out from under his hat. And let's see, this guy, I want to go back with some of that darker and just give some little hair strokes to make it look like the hair has movement. Fix her little nose. If you look real close, she got blended out the nose a little too much. So I'm going to, what, honey? Thank you. I am going to just outline her nose just a bit. This is when we can go in and add a little bit more detail. We'll do like a little mouth there. We'll give her a little bit of some lips, right? I'm not sure if I want to do lips for him, so I'm just gonna blend that right on in. Okay, and now I'm gonna dry, so give me a second, let's dry. So everything's wet. I'm gonna come in with my Micron or with your black pen. Just make sure that if you do come in to add pen details afterwards, that everything is dry, or you have a waterproof pen, because you don't want that, everything to bleed, right? So I'm just gonna come in here and put two tiny little eyes. And we're gonna give him a great big mouth. Okay. It's a little crooked. It's okay. This guy, a little mouth, and 2 little eyes. For her, we'll give her 2 little eyes. And we're gonna do her little mouth as well. We'll give her some little smile lines. Then we can go over any parts of the painting that we want to outline with the black. I think I want to keep it really simple and just have their faces done that way. So I'm going to leave that. But I think I am going to come in with a little bit more of my metallic gold. And just add a little bit more here to her necklace. Maybe just a little bit more detail on the scarf here between the colors. And this guy just needs some. So I'll put some gold right inside each little dot of his hat. So this was our E for elves. I hope that you enjoyed this, even just a little bit. I know I did. They look cute. And I'd love to see if you try these, you know, tag me on social media if you make yourself some, you know, just give it a try. Don't be afraid of watercolor. The worst that's gonna happen is it's paper and you get a new piece and try again, right? So I hope you like this. I'll be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. and we'll be doing the letter F. So don't forget to drop some messages in the comments below to let me know what we should paint next week. I would love it if you would subscribe and join me here again next week. But in between that, some videos will be coming up. We are doing our art kits are getting closer and closer. They are coming live. So this was one of my big cats art kits that's coming. Well, actually, it's up on the website. So if you love watercolor, make sure to follow along. Cindy, thank you for those hearts. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week and that you're feeling good. I hope you cool off, right? And I will see you next time, if not before then. Okay? Thanks, everybody.